Welcome to Rick's Scale Model Fix, and it's kit review time. This time we're going to be looking at Eduard's new Spitfire Mk.II A in 1/48 scale. So a quick box top tour, and we've got the delightful artwork there, and a couple of Spitfires escorting a couple of Blenheims on a sortie. Box sides, we've got 5 marking options included in the kit, ranging from early April 41 to January 42 in both earth and dark green and grey and dark green over grey and sky. So a nice set of markings. There is just one kit in the box, and the kit number for this is 82153. On the other side we've just got repetition of the box artwork, a bit of instructions from Eduard in English and Czech, and the box end is plain and simple artwork, kit number and scale and manufacturer. So that's the box top tour. Let's take a look what's actually inside. So lifting the lid reveals the contents. They all look to be nicely packaged, all in their individual bags. So clear parts, a couple of sprues for the fuselage. That bag's actually ripped. So a couple of more sprues, internals, flight controls. Rather glossy A4 booklet. With this being the Profi pack, we've got etch, canopy masks and the decal sheet. So we'll just look at the smaller items first. We've got canopy mask and the photo etch. Decal sheet we'll come to in a moment, and then we've got the instruction booklet, which is printed on heavyweight glossy paper, which is quite nice. And on the front there it's got a nice little historic description of the Spitfire and its evolution from the early days through to the Mk.II. Opening the booklet, and we have parts map, and as expected there you can see that there's a lot of greyed out parts not for use, as they're generic sprues, and we've got a lot of bits and pieces coming over there from the earlier Mk.I. Detail is Eduard, it's lovely, made up of etch, optional decals and the kit parts themselves. So obviously if you're not into to all the etch and everything, wait for the weekend edition of the kit, which is inevitable, and you'll just get the basic plastic. So construction starts with the cockpit. Sidewall detail, very detailed. Follow the instructions carefully and add the bits and pieces in order. Once the sidewalls are completed, we've also got to build up the bulkhead with the bracketry for the seat and the armour plate, which is again provided in a photo etch part for scale thickness. Control column being assembled from multi-parts, again making use of photo etch. Pilot seat, armour plate behind the pilot seat, again saying it's in photo etch or it's in plastic, and the cockpit floor. Further work on the cockpit as it's all coming together there with the etched harnesses before the pilot's instrument panel. It's laminated up with plastic parts and photo etch. It should be quite convincing when it's done. All in all, looking very busy now as we had the seat harnesses. Finally entombing the cockpit tub between the two sidewalls, ready for inclusion into the fuselage, which comes quite quickly. A few other little bits and pieces going in, and then we've got optional decals being pointed out or photo etch parts, and we're looking at moving on to building up the spar for the wheel bay and the lower wing section, making a note that you need to drill out some flashed over holes there. Turning the page, and continuing with wheel wells and the like being added to that lower wing section. It's going to pay attention there to getting everything lined up perfectly, otherwise you could interfere with the fit of the two wing sections coming down, which will then have a detrimental fit of the wing root later on. Cannon barrels, or machine gun barrels as it's a Mk.II, and further detail for the wheel wells. Wing joining the fuselage, so it'll be interesting to see what the fit's like. I've not actually built an Eduard Spitfire, so looking forward to doing that. Elevators, tailplanes, rudder, separate parts. Doesn't look as though they're posable, but it's not going to take much to actually drop those or droop them or offset that rudder. Ailerons going in, separate wing tips, everything coming together there, normal traditional Spitfire style. And detail there for the oil coolers and radiators, using etch parts for the matrix and the heat exchangers. Carrying on that theme right through to the bottom of page 9, where we see the undercarriage being started to be assembled with the undercarriage legs and gear doors. They're then added to the model as expected with a tail wheel. Nice little diagram there showing the offset toe in, toe out camber, whatever you want to call it, of the undercarriage. Details starting coming up to the inside of the canopy and the pilot's access door. Front windscreen, rear view mirror, choice of etch or plastic. Everything coming together with the spinner and the prop that's assembled at the bottom of page 11, and 2 options included there, so just check your marking options. Exhaust stubs going in and everything coming together there to more or less completing the build. Nice little inclusion of diagram for the IFF aerials and an overall profile of the finished thing. Page 13 sees the placement guide for the canopy masks, and then we're into the markings, and as ever they're a highlight usually of Eduard's kits. Lovely full colour, nice description of the airframe and the pilot that flew it. But we've got an example there from RAF Biggin Hill in April 41, Norfolk in 41 with the Polish squadron. Turning the page sees RAF Kennelly, August 41, and then we've got Czech squadron, Great Air, November 41, and we see the grey and green camo creeping in there. Final one is a French squadron, RAF Air again in January 42, and that's repeated in the medium sea grey, ocean grey and dark green scheme. Stenciled data on page 19, not too much, not a modern jet, so it shouldn't be too bad in applying that. And over the page again, there's quite a few underneath, keep you busy for a while. The decal sheet looks to be well printed. There's been a bit of consternation about Eduard's decals over the last 12 months. Not really used any of the latest ones. I'll leave that up to you to form your own opinion on whether they work for you. If not, there's plenty of Spitfire markings out there and the aftermarket guys to keep you more than busy. But it looks to be well printed. The carrier film looks a little bit thick, but then with these that's supposedly removable. So like I said, I've not tried that, so I can't really point you in the right direction or not. Moving on to the box contents and the actual plastic. I'm going to start off with the clear parts, and what I'm going to assume is a very generic Spitfire sprue for the canopy parts that Eduard include with most of their kits, if not all of them. The crystal clear, defect free, probably some of the best clear parts on the market at the moment, and with the addition of the canopy masks, certainly not a weak area of this model. Taking a look at Sprue C in the kit, and we've got some of the cockpit details. There is a little bit of flash on the exhaust stubs there, which is a bit disappointing, but easy clean up. Sidewall detail is excellent, on with plastic instrument panel with raised detail, blank instrument panel for if you want to use the decal or the kit included etch. So really some quite nice smaller parts there. No real issues to worry about. A couple of propellers, the Mk.I Watts propeller, and another one there. The second sprue contained in that bag is Sprue A, and we have rudders, wingtips, wheels, ailerons, elevators, and a few other wheel hubs and bits and pieces. Again, surface detail and riveting is the best in the modelling market. I think Eduard excel at surface detail, and combine that with the new sort of trend towards very thin lacquer based paints, the surface detail of the model looks absolutely stunning without fear of obliterating all the finer rivet detail with some of the thicker acrylic paints that are on the market. The final bag in the kit contains 3 sprues. So we've got the fuselage, some more propellers, more sidewall detail, elevators and the like, a couple of spinners, and the wing section. So just taking a look at this wing section, you can see that the surface detail is absolutely second to none. I think Eduard, like I've just said, are probably the best manufacturer for replicating surface detail. They certainly look the part, and as we said, with careful painting they can make the surface of the model look absolutely stunning. So there's no defects present or any flash with the wings. Spinners just fell off there, so we've got more propellers, spinners, elevators, tailplanes, ailerons. So I'd imagine they're either the metal or fabric covered ones for the later or earlier types of airframe. We know there's a Mk.V coming. And the last sprue is the fuselage, and again surface detail second to none, and we've got rudimentary internals as well. So there we have a quick delve and a quick look in the box of Eduard's Spitfire Mk.II in 1/48 scale. The market is awash with early Mk.I era Spitfires. Certainly the big boys have had a go. Tamiya recently releasing a Mk.I, Eduard themselves with Mk.I, and then Airfix, etc. So it really is modeller's choice to suit your budget, experience and the level of detail you want for the finished build. But the Eduard one certainly looks good in the box. Having not built any of the new generation Mk.I or early Spitfires, I can't really comment on which would be the best. Hopefully here at Rick Scale Model Fix we can include a video build of one of those early marks of Spitfire. So until next time, everybody, please look after yourselves, take care and stay well.